Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be going over how to get this obtainable eye look with the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight palette. Ooh. It's a beautiful rosy palette with lots of good pinks and iridescent shimmers. It also has one of my favorite things. All of the pigments have their names right underneath them, so it makes it very easy to follow along. So let's get going. I'm going to zoom in on my eyes, that way y'all can have a better look at what I'm doing. First, I'm going to prep my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Just a little bit. You don't want to over prime your eyes. Just a little bit on the eyelid. You can smooth that with your pinky. I also try to be careful not to let my eyelid crease too much when I am letting it dry, so that it gives it a good smooth surface. Once we've got that good and smoothed on, I'm going to be taking my MAC 286 brush in the color Matter of Fact. Just going to be putting that all over the lid of my eye and a little bit up into the crease. This is A, going to give you a good wash of color. B, it's going to really help set that primer so that it's a lot easier to blend out colors on top of it later. Next, I'll be going in with my Morphe M330 brush. I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the color downright. We're going to start building up the color in the crease where we're going to have the majority of the smoky look. Tap off the excess. And you can see where the color is going to start building right out here in the corner. Just turning it slightly pink. We'll be going in a little bit deeper colors here. Just want to get a good, nice blended transition color in force. This is going to be a good base to lay other colors upon. It's also going to serve as a good blending color for after we get some darker colors on. If there's any harsh lines, we'll go back in with the downright and blend softer lines back in. Okay, and your eyes will look like this about this step. One thing I forgot to mention in the beginning is that I do prefer to start with eyes, especially when I am experimenting with colors. That way, if there's any fallout underneath your eyes here, any of the dark colors, shimmery colors, anything like that, you can go in and clean it up later with your foundation, your concealer, and your powder. If you do your foundation and concealer first, not only do you have the chance of fallout and creating a mess, but you also are putting your hand all over your face as you do your eyes, and that can mess up your foundation, put more oils on your skin where you don't want them to be. So I'm going to be taking a little bit stiffer of a brush now to start putting on some deeper pigments. I'm going to be using my Morphe M441 brush. I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the Cranberry shade TMI. Now to begin with, we're not using very much at all because it's very pigmented. We're just going to tap off a little bit of the excess and start in the corner. When working with darker colors, always start in the corner of your eye and work inward. If you start here, you're going to have a huge darkness right here, and it will be hard to then lighten it in. It should be transitioning from dark to light on your eyes. Blend it out. This stiffer brush is really good for blending out darker colors. It's going to not bend as much. It's very good for just holding up as you blend and blend and blend this color out. I'm going to bring it up a little bit if you're going a little bit more for a dramatic look. So you're starting to see here how we have the gradient. And this is the finished product after that step. Now, whenever I'm done with these brushes, there's a good chance that we'll go back in and use them for more blending, packing on more color. So I don't put them away or anything. I just lay them out kind of in the order that I use them. It's a good trick that I use just so I don't forget. I'm going to pretty much remember the order in which we put shades on. This will help me keep track of what brushes were for what. Then I'm going to be taking the color Actually. It's this very darkest color right in the corner. And I'm going to be taking it on a very stiff brush. That way I can really pack it in the corner and it's not going to fall out all over the rest of the color that we are looking at. The Morphe E18 brush is what I'll be using. I'm just going to get a little bit on with the darker colors. Always be sure to tap off excess, otherwise you will end up with a ton of fallout in your other colors. It can really muddy up the look that you're trying for. So we're going to go in right here in the corner. And darken this up, blend up. If it doesn't look like it's blending as easily as you'd want it to, that's okay. We're actually going to go back on top of it with more of the TMI color. That way it will blend it a little bit better. Now I'm going to go back in with the stiffer brush that we had the TMI on. I'm going to pick up a little bit more color of the TMI, just a little bit, just to kind of help blend that back in together. And you'll see as we do so, you do keep the darker gradient of the Actually, but you are also making sure it looks very uniform. You don't want any harsh lines in the dark colors. And this is going to be your eyes after that step. You can see where we're working on building up with the TMI. We're keeping the dark Actually down here around the eyelid. We will be bringing the color down underneath the eyes after we're done with our full face. That way we're not worrying about our foundation too much. Alright, so now that we've got a good, nice gradient going here, I'm going to be packing on some shimmery colors to really make the eyes pop. For that, I'm going to be using the Unique Cream Shadow Brush. This is just a brush that I got in a purchase of some palettes from Unique to test them out. It's a very good brush for packing on color because it's very flat and dense, so it does make for good shimmer work. I'm going to be spraying the brush with some Fix Plus. Most shimmers and glitters were going to go on a lot easier and a lot more pigmented if you use a wet brush. Any kind of finishing spray will work. Water will work too. It doesn't work quite as well, but it will work if that's all you have. So go ahead and pick up the brush. Any kind of flat, dense brush will work. We're going to be going in with the color Forthright. I'll be getting a little bit of that glitter on, that shimmery color on there. And we're just going to start packing it on the lid. You don't want to sweep your brush, you want to dab. If you sweep whenever you are applying shimmers, you're going to be getting a lot of fallout, B, you're losing a lot of the pigment when you do that because you're just brushing it everywhere. By having a damp brush and doing dabs, you are very much more controlled in your application. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit because I do like for it to show above my crease. And right here, close to where our colors are marrying, we're going to basically dab and drag just a bit, just so that we are blending those colors in. And we will go back in and blend them out a little bit better. That way there's no harsh lines. That is the name of the game in blending eyeshadows, is just blend until there are no harsh lines. This is with both eyes with the first shimmer on. Again, going back in with the brush, the 441 brush with the TMI on it. I'm going to go in and soften these lines. Now I do like that shimmer, but I do want something just a little bit more overstated. So I'm going to use that same brush that we used for the Forthright, that same flat brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Candid and just go right in here. Dab on just a bit more. There we go. Bring a little bit more shine. Having that Forthright as an undercolor for this really allows it to be its best pigment. And then blend again. Going to blend over the top of the Candid to soften out that line. We're not getting any extra color on the brush. We're just using what's already there and what's been picked up by blending back in here. This is after that step. And from here I am going to go on and finish my foundation, concealer, powder. That way my full face is done and we can do some under eye work. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back. I've gotten my face done and my eyebrows done, thank goodness, because they were looking crazy. And now we're going to start on the under eye look. So I have a Morphe M408 brush. And this brush is very nice because it's very short and dense. It's very compact. It's good for, it's actually called a smudger. So it's very good for smudging colors underneath your eyes. It's very good for just getting in very small places. We're going to be using that very light downright color and going in underneath the eye. Just smudging it out. We'll be going in with other colors as well to tie them all together. So we're going to go do the other eye too, because I'm going to be using this brush for most of the smudging. I don't want to keep transferring color, so I will do the other eye. And we're going to pick up just a little bit of Actually. We're not looking for too dramatic of a look underneath the eyes. Sometimes we'll go in with fluffy brushes if we want to like really smoke it down. This one I just really want almost like a tight line of the color, just so that it's not too dramatic. You want to make sure to join the colors together. And then we're going to go back in with just a little bit of that Actually color to tie that all in together. And we're just going to get it on the corner of the brush and join it. I'm going to come up here and grab some of it, pull it back down to join it. That darker color. Okay, and that is what it will look like after that step. Going to go back in for a final time and just re-blend all that together. Going to pick up just a little bit of TMI, not very much at all. I'm going to connect that bottom line with the top. You're going to pull a little bit of Candid on a very small brush. I am just using the Morphe M213 brush, just a very little brush. Put that shimmer right there, right along the waterline, the way you're tying the colors together. And then for the last steps, I'm going to take the very first brush we used with that lightest color, Matter of Fact. I'm going to get just a little bit of it, and I'm going to go up in here along my brow bone. And I'm going to smooth the harsh lines and highlight that brow bone. See how that gives it kind of a finished look up atop? And then I'm going to take my very smallest brush. I think this might be the smallest one in my entire collection, and it is the Morphe E35. Just very little. I'm going to take the lightest shimmer shade in Up Front. Just barely dab in there. We don't even really need color fix for this because it's just going to be a highlight right here in the corner of the eye. Up and down. If you get it below the lash line, that's fine. Just brighten up the corner. Remember what I said at the very beginning, it should always go from darkest to lightest. You always want to try to highlight the inner eye because it's going to make the entire eye color very bright. It's going to keep your eyes looking very wide and open. Alright, now there is the finished eye look. With the shadows, I'm going to go in with just a little bit of brown eyeliner right along my waterline. I don't want anything too dark, and I do feel like black would darken it up too much. I just want to eliminate that line right there. And then the mascara that I'm using is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I just love the brush on it. I feel like it gives me a lot of volume. So that is with the mascara. I've got 2 coats on. You can really tell that it really lifts up your eyelashes, really makes them volumized and look a lot longer than they are. Okay, I'm going to finish off my face, blush, all the extras, and then we will see the final look here in just a moment. So this is the final look. I hope that you enjoyed going over this with me. I certainly enjoyed filming it. If you have any questions about things I did or didn't do, any of the products that I used, go ahead and leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to get back with you. If you want to leave a like for this video, hit the thumbs up down below. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and whenever it asks you, hit the bell. That way you're notified every time I upload new videos. And thank you so much for watching today.